This is Brenda Nicholson from ADD Student. In the past few days here in the United States, the biggest focus that we've had in the news and amongst any people who meet together and talk is the horrific shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. I can't imagine what those people have gone through, and my heart goes out to all of them. I think that every mother in the world would be touched and saddened and extend some sort of sympathy to the families of the children and the adults who lost their lives in that shooting. Some of us may even be able to extend that to the family of the shooter. It hasn't happened quite yet, but it's on its way. I remember right after the Columbine shootings, once we got to know a little bit more about the two shooters involved in that, it was mentioned that one of them had attention deficit disorder. And actually, already, there has been, the day of the shooting on Friday morning, a woman wrote a blog post called "I Am Adam Lanza's Mother." The blog is called "The Anarchist Soccer Mom." And this woman has a son, I believe he's 7, and she says that he has violent tendencies and that he's pulled a knife on her and her children, and that she's afraid of him, and that she can easily see her son doing something like this once he gets older. She's gotten a lot of attention for what she says. Some people praise her honesty, and others think she's giving her son a reputation he doesn't deserve. She does mention that he's been diagnosed several times by different doctors with different diagnoses, and one of them was most recently attention deficit disorder. So, can we blame all these acts of random violence on attention deficit disorder? I don't think so. I don't think the answer is that simple. But you are the parent, as I am, of children with attention deficit disorder. They can be perceived as being different, as being loners. That's because their social skills are not always well developed. Their maturity socially is typically 3 to 5 years behind up until somewhere in their 20s. And they have trouble making friends and keeping friends, and they are perceived as being weird or different sometimes. Sometimes, depending on the personality of the child, they might be a little more outgoing and turn into the class clown or someone that everybody likes. But there are other kids, the quiet ones, who struggle perhaps more with their symptoms, who kind of keep themselves on the edges of the classroom, not really wanting to try and interact with the kids because it hasn't worked out so well in the past. I can see where people might make that kind of leap. Those are people who don't know anything about attention deficit disorder, who don't have a child or someone they love who has it. One of the reasons that I write this blog, this has been a lifelong passion for me ever since my children were born, is because I want to educate people about what attention deficit disorder is and what it is not. My child, your child, any child with ADD is no more likely to pull out a gun and start randomly shooting people than anyone else. There are more deeper issues going on here. It's obviously much more than attention deficit disorder. And I don't have to be a psychologist or psychiatrist or a mental health expert to say that. It's clear, it's very clear, that there's a lot more going on here than someone who has trouble paying attention and is a little bit forgetful now and then, maybe hyperactive. Even if you add in characteristics like risk-taking behavior and impulsive behavior, those still don't add up to shooting up an elementary school and killing so many people. One does not correlate with the other. I know that it's only a matter of time before the media picks up on this. The woman who wrote the blog post has already been on the Today Show. But in the coming days, you're liable to hear more and more about the connection between this shooter and the fact that he had attention deficit disorder. I'm guessing on that. I don't know that that's been said yet, but I'm waiting for it. Please join me in educating others when you hear them say things like that. It's what I want to do. It's why I do what I do. One of the reasons why I do what I do here at ADD Student and at ADD Moms. It's to let people know what having ADD is really like and what it's about and what we struggle with. To tell them that it is a real thing. It's not something we made up. It's not an excuse for laziness. It's who we are, and we struggle with it. But because we struggle with paying attention and foggy brains and being impulsive and talking too much and being hyperactive, none of that translates into the violence that we saw at Sandy Hook in Newtown, Connecticut this past week. So please, when you hear someone making those kinds of snap judgments, try and educate them a little bit. They may not want to hear it, they may not believe you, but at least you could try. And tonight, give kids an extra hug. Thank you.